New numbers out tonight show more than 250,000 Coloradans could be out of work by this summer. Shutdowns related to coronavirus are hitting hospitality and retail workers the hardest.
Well, Contact 7 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski takes a 360 look tonight at the unemployment options available and how soon you could see relief.
This is Texas State Fair.
These days,
it is an absolute blast to do.
Mike Walker can only look at photos of better times.
Customers that like putting their own sold tags on their hot tubs.
He makes his living traveling across the country selling hot tubs.
And I've done it for over 20 years.
A living now on hold because of coronavirus.
My next 3 shows have been canceled.
As thousands of Coloradans wait for relief from unemployment checks, we're going 360 on who qualifies and who doesn't. In this report, you'll hear more from Mike Walker, the state unemployment office, a Parker restaurant, and an economics professor breaking it all down.
I do not have an income coming in.
Going back to Walker.
It's a fear long-term, not a fear short-term.
Even though he's out of work by no fault of his own, he's self-employed, which means he doesn't qualify for unemployment.
There is no relief for me whatsoever, and that's my biggest struggle right now.
The state says because self-employed workers aren't paying taxes into the state unemployment fund, they aren't eligible for benefits.
I think it's kind of unfair. I mean, I still pay taxes.
Leaving people like Walker stuck with no clear timeline for when he can start making money again.
I can't expect this. I don't know what the expectations are. Am I done for the year? I don't know.
But there is some good news on the horizon.
The bill is passed.
The Senate relief bill passed late Wednesday expands unemployment benefits to far more workers, including those who are self-employed, partially unemployed, or who cannot work for a variety of coronavirus-related reasons. Benefit amounts would be calculated based on previous income. Self-employed workers would also be eligible for an additional $600 weekly benefit. The House is expected to take up the bill and pass it soon. What are you seeing with volume of unemployment right now?
Over the last day, we have over 20,000.
Cher Haven works for the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment. She says the state wants to help, but who it can and cannot give relief to is changing by the hours and days. So if you're furloughed and your employer right now is saying in 2 weeks we'll hire you back, are those people eligible for unemployment?
Absolutely. And I think the best way to look at it is if you have experienced a reduction in hours or wages, you should file for unemployment.
How soon can people expect checks?
Right now, we're looking at anybody who filed for benefits, let's say in the last 10 days, hopefully would get their first benefit in the next 2 weeks.
It's a concern for our bottom line, but we understand why it has to happen.
West Main Tap Room and Grill in Parker is just trying to survive. Manager Lance Furr says they opened a month ago.
Business was great. Things were going really, really well.
And then the coronavirus hit.
And all that kind of came to a halt.
Forcing the restaurant to get creative. They put up this makeshift sign closer to the road in hopes of attracting more customers to order takeout.
And we've also tried to make our takeout menu very budget-friendly and also geared a little bit more towards families.
Well, Furr says they're doing everything they can to keep the lights on.
I think if we maintain where we're at right now, we can maintain business for some time. Not forever.
They had no choice but to lay off 90% of its 80 workers.
It's been very hard. That's been some of the hardest conversations I've had to have with some employees, and they don't know where their next paycheck's coming from. That's really hard.
This is unprecedented. The rapid increase in claims due to very quick shutdowns of hospitality, leisure, and retail sectors.
DU economics professor Jack Strauss says those industries have been hit the hardest.
In Colorado, 600,000 jobs in the entire sector, and we expect, unfortunately, at least 50% of this sector to be shut down.
Could we see employers try to use this situation to their advantage?
The answer is yes. And so, of course, this is an excuse to shed some workers. At the same time, workers can take this idea of becoming unemployed and seek better jobs.
But we end this 360 with a perspective we probably all need to hear.
We always survive recessions and bounce back. And so that's the thing we have to remember.
I'm Contact 7 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski.
West Main Tap Room and Grill in Parker is offering 10% off tomorrow to anybody who saw this story. The restaurant's also selling beer growlers. Now, here at Denver 7, we launched a wonderful program called We're Open Colorado. It's to connect you with businesses that need your support during this tough time. So please head over to thedenverchannel.com/open.